All right, D3, San Diego section predictions. We got another 16 teams. We got some, just like in the last division, some teams moved up, some teams moved down. In my opinion, I think this is when the competition starts to take a pretty severe drop off from the first two divisions, which is not a huge deal. Everyone's put into their divisions for a reason. But with that being said, I also think this is the most competitive in terms of all the teams being relatively similar. So this was going to be a really, really good year for D3. So we'll see how everything pans out, man. Let's get it. Starting out at the gate, we got Bishops Knights. A pretty similar schedule to a lot of the private school teams. Now we're going to get into a lot of the smaller private schools. They got the Escondido Charters of the world, Francis Parker's La Jolla Country Days of the world, Santa Fe Christian, Mountain Empire. I got them going 4-6. They're not going to be as competitive this year. New coaches, new players. They don't really have any marquee guys from what I've seen from Bishops out of the years in the past. Yeah, Christian, University City, Orange Glen, Santa Fe Christian, some tough games. They're going to win the games that they're going to win, probably with home field advantage, and they're going to lose. Most likely their away matchups. They got La Jolla opening up. They're not beating La Jolla. They got Bishops Knights going 4-6. Next up, we have Bonita Vista Barons. I have them going 4-6. Bonita Vista down in Chula Vista, South Bay area. Pretty favorable out-of-conference schedule, playing Vincent Memorial, Hilltop, and Patrick Henry. But once they get into league, they got to play the Otay Ranches and the Mater Days and East Lakes. Not going to look too good for them. Got to get up in some way. They got to get some players from some of these youth teams to kind of build up their program, because they always seem like they're going to be a 500 team at best or anything lower. Not really going to make too much of a run. Got Bonita Vista going 4-6. Canyon Hills Rattlers, formerly the Serra Conquistadors, got a new coach coming in last year, taking over a pretty depleted team that consists of 4 overall coaches on varsity. A lot of small, sucked-up players, but hopefully they got some guys coming back that has some experience, and the coach and the rest of the staff come back with a little bit more continuity from having a year under their belt. Despite that, I got them going 1-7, only winning 1 game this year. They got a pretty unfavorable schedule, playing some tough teams such as Scripps Ranch, Morse, Point Loma, and University City. Maybe a couple of these games can go either way, but I had them going 1-7. Might be able to flip the Sweetwater game. Might be able to have them flip the Mission Bay game, but they're owed 2 more games. We'll see. As that goes on, they're going to probably add 1 or 2 more games to the schedule, but right now I have them going 1-7. Next up, we got Del Norte, the Nighthawks. Got them going 3-6. I don't think Del Norte has a very favorable schedule. They had a really, really good running back last year, number 1. I'm not sure if he's returning. I'll say this, if he is returning, I'm going to give them 2 more wins to be able to go to be 5-4. If they lose him to graduation, like I'm assuming, I have them going 3-6. I believe they have 1 more game that needs to be added to their schedule. But for now, got a pretty bad losing record. Got some tough teams in Rancho Bernardo, Poway, Mount Carmel, La Jolla, and University City. And some of these outer conference games. Thousand Oaks, I don't see them beating them. But they will have surefire wins over Escondido, Vista, and I'll say San Pascual at that. 3-6, Del Norte. Next up, El Capitan Vaqueros. I got them 5-5. They got pretty much the same schedule, exactly how they had it last year. Just everything flipped from who was playing home and who was playing away from last year. They're going to win the games that they're going to win, but they're also going to lose some games that they probably shouldn't lose, but I believe they don't really have the personnel that they did last year to make that long run into the playoffs. They had a really good quarterback, a lot of good skill position players, and I believe that they're going to go 500 this year. Surefire wins over Canyon Hills, Hilltop, El Cajon, Santana, Mount Miguel, Valhalla. Really weak league schedule, but that's how the football is out there. I got El Cap going 5-5. Escondido Cougars. I'm very surprised that they are in Division 3. They should be Division 5 in my opinion. I got Escondido going 2-8. Got a real tough schedule. They're in the same bracket, I believe, as a Valley Center, in which they're stuck up in North County, but they have to play these really tough North County schools for the most part. San Pasqual, a Ramona, Rancho Buena Vista, and Del Norte. I have them beating Orange Glen and Hilltop. I don't see them beating a Fallbrook away. I don't see them beating a Rancho Buena Vista away. Some of these games can probably go either way, but based off what I saw Escondido last year, they look really bad. 2-8, I got them. Next up, we got the Imperial Tigers going out of the Imperial County, 105-degree weather during the early parts of the season. I got them going 7-3, pretty solid record. A lot of these desert schools, they have a pretty favorable schedule. Always very competitive teams. I have them going 7-3. The three lone losses may come to their rivals, Central Brawley. They're all really toss-ups. They got a lot of outer conference games playing Palo Verde Valley, who I believe won the CIF or Division 5 last year. Gila Ridge, and Cibola. So, got some pretty interesting outer conference games, but I got them going 7-3. Always a solid team year in and year out. Next up, Morris Tigers. Morris, in my opinion, is going to be probably the most interesting team in Division 3. I'm not sure where they're at in terms of the quality of players. The coaches are still intact from who they had. They had McNair's been there for a long time, holding down the helm. I do not know what the heck is wrong with their offense, but they're going to stick with it. They live and die by it. They're going to stack 10 players on the line, and they're going to have 4 guys in the backfield, and they're going to run it, power, and sweep all day and not change anything and kind of waste a lot of the talent that they have. But what do I know? I'm not the coach. Anyways, I got Morse going 7-3. They got a pretty favorable schedule playing Rancho Buena Vistas, Mar Vistas, Escondido, and Mission Bay and Canyon Hills. Very weak schedule for G3, but hey, man, get your wins. I got them 7-3. I don't think that they're gonna make a long playoff run unless they got some freak athletes. They have 1 or 2 every year, but because of the offense, I believe that'll hinder them from being able to make some deep runs in the playoffs, because I believe they'll be outcoached. More 7-3. Got the Olympian Eagles. Pretty weak team. I'm not sure what's going on with Olympian these days, but based off of their schedule, it conforms to how they have been playing recently, which is good. They got the Montgomerys, the Hilltops, Sweetwaters, Valhalla, West Hills. I have them have a winning record this year. I got them at 6-4. I think they're going to be able to beat a lot of these teams. They're playing Westview, playing Chula Vista, got Bonita Vista. They might be able to go 7-3, maybe 8-2, depending on how good that everything is. With their season this year, got a Valhalla at home, so they got a very favorable schedule, but I got Olympian going 6-4. Orange Glen Patriots up in Escondido had a first-round exit against El Cap last year in a very close matchup. I think they're going to build some momentum coming off of that game. I believe that they have moved up from Division 4 over the last couple years. Actually, Division 5, so shout out to Orange Glen. They're doing some good things up there. Have them going 7-3 for this year. Playing a lot of those schools that they used to be playing back in the day: Mount Empire, Escondido Charter, Francis Parker, Classical Academy, La Jolla Country Day, which I don't necessarily agree you should be doing, but I mean, if they have that rapport over playing over the past few years, and just keep playing them, I guess. Those are easy wins for them, but I think that's kind of a habit that'll hinder them once they get into the playoffs. However, they do what they want. 7-3 Orange Glen. Next up, the most interesting team in the county, so people think, unless they know what actually happened. But I got Patrick Henry Patriots coming up next on the list of Division 3 predictions. Man, they're going to go 2-7 in my opinion. Patrick Henry losing the man, JT O'Sullivan, man, the mastermind behind their success over the past 3 seasons, has left the school. And not only does the head coach has a mastermind to be able to do all the play calling and manage everything, but he implemented the culture in what got Patrick Henry to turn everything around for how bad that they've been over the past decade. So losing him was huge. I think that's going to be a direct reflection of how they performed this year, as well as losing a couple of their key best players. They had a strong senior class. Now they got to rebuild. Got the quarterback coming back, but he's not going to have a lot of help, Malachi. But I have them going 2-7 with the lone wins, and these can go either way. But I have them winning against San Diego and possibly Morse. They could go 1-8. I'm not sure. 2-7. I got Patrick Henry. Next up, Point Loma Pointers. I got Point Loma going 4-5. They've been a pretty quiet city team. They got a pretty favorable schedule in terms of the competition. Canyon Hills, Mission Bay, Valhalla, Santana, West Hills. Winnable games, but the rest of their league games aren't as much. University City, Morse, and La Jolla, as well as Christian. I got Point Loma Pointers going 4-5. RBV, the Longhorns, Rancho Buena Vista, a team that has so much money, yet their football team has about 15 players. Does not make any sense. I got the RBV Longhorns going 5-5. I believe they're going to go 500 this year. They're going to win the games that they're going to win. Vista, El Cap, Escondido, Castle Park. And they're going to lose the game that they probably need to lose. Mount Carmel, Ramona, San Pascual, Rancho Buena Vista, 5-5. Next up, San Pascual, running a horrible offense. Still running the horrible offense. I don't know if they changed it. Got the Golden Eagles going 4-6. San Pascual, North County team, strong opponent, just in a tough bracket, just in a tough conference, just like a Ramona, playing some really very competitive playing some competitive North County teams. They got Ramona, San Marcos, Valley Center, Del Norte, at Orange Glen. Orange Glen's a sleeper. So I got them going 4-6. Nothing spectacular. San Pascual kind of is in an area in Escondido where they got a lot of guys probably not wanting to necessarily go there and not retaining a lot of players, but they'll just kind of get the group of guys that are around the area that'll go to an Orange Glen or Escondido, so everything gets pretty much evened out in terms of the talent that comes to their school. So with that comes a regular record, in my opinion, 4-6, unless they got a dude out there that I don't know. Next, got the Santana Sultans out in East County, Santee, California. Santana 5-5. Again, one of those situations. Some of these games can probably go either way for their outer conference schedule, but they play amongst arguably the weakest league schedule, with Monte Vista, El Cajon Valley, Mount McGill, and El Cap, as well as Valhalla in the same league. And West Hills is pretty much the runaway favorite for the Grossmont Valley League. However, I feel that West Hills is down this year, but by default, I believe that they're going to probably win it. Santana gets to play those teams. They're going to win a lot of their games. And I don't think that it's possible that Santana can possibly win 2 more games, because the Fallbrook and the Mount McGills might be able to go both ways. I don't see them beating Point Loma for their opener on the 19th. I got Santana 5-5, but they can very well go 7-3. Keep an eye on them. University City. University City is going to turn a lot of heads from what I've heard in the interior, in the confines of the team. I believe that they have some dogs coming up, so they're going to be a team to watch and to circle on your schedule, making sure that this team is definitely not one to overlook. I got UC going 8-2. I got some favorable teams: Mission Bay, Canyon Hills, Patrick Henry, Bishops, that they should handle pretty well, as well as Fallbrook. They don't really have a very formidable opponent from what I'm seeing. Maybe a Ukaipa out of the Inland Empire coming down and playing a home game, and a Brawley away. Otherwise, all the rest of their games look pretty straightforward. UC, really interesting team to look out for this year, 8-2. Last but not least, we got the West Hills Wolfpack. Like I mentioned earlier, breaking down Santana and their predictions. West Hills, arch rival in the same league, very weak league. Outer conference schedule isn't looking too strong. They got a Grossmont, very depleted Grossmont team, a low-end Point Loma team, an Olympian, as well as Imperial. The Imperial game, in my opinion, will probably be their toughest opponent. apart from the rivalry games against El Cap and Santana, because you know how the rivalry teams play during those games. Those go either way. So I got West Hills going 7-3. They got some pretty favorable home matchups this year, but they have the two arch rivals away this year, so we'll see. That might actually change it to a 6-4, 5-5. Who knows? But I got West Hills winning Grossmont Valley League, going 7-3 this year. For the Division III championship in the San Diego section, I have University City playing Imperial out of the desert, and I got UC coming out on top. This is their year. I believe University City got cut short last year playing a very, very, very good historical Patrick Henry team that ended up playing one or two plays away from being able to play in the state last year in Division 4. UC advances to D3. They got a bunch of good players coming up, very young players as well as returning juniors that had huge impacts on their success last year. I got them winning the chip this year for D3, man. Watch out for UC.